Okay, so this is the view from a student standpoint. I've logged in as a student, and that same Google Classroom, Can We Be Scientists at Home, is right here. And you can see that it's a student view because it just has the instructor. It doesn't say how many students. So if we click on that, you can see this is what the student sees. Again, they look at their announcements, right? It looks very similar to mine. They have classwork. And so you can see all the classwork that they have done. You can see if they click on it, it's in gray and it says turned in, right? So they click on it, it says turned in. So they don't have any new classwork, so it all shows up in gray. They can also go by culmination, classwork, right? So they can view it in these different settings. Okay, so for example, under the optional assignments, if it is in green, so if any assignment is in green, that means they haven't done it yet. So let's say they want to do this, they click on it. It gives them directions. It has their work. They can upload work or they can work right in here. So in this document, it opened a copy of this assignment for them. It named it. And then you'll see in my assignments, I like to highlight the sections where I want them to answer. So they know that their directions are going to be not highlighted, and then they know the questions are going to be right here. So they might say, which people are in the control group? And they might say, Mr. Krabs. Okay, so then when they're totally finished, they'll just click turn in, and then it'll show up as turned in. So I'm not going to do that. But let's go back to, all right, so let's say we're back here. He's looking and the student is looking at this class. The student can do this drop down, and the key for them is they can find this to-do list. And so that's why it's important that all teachers are pretty consistent. So it'll show things like no due date, which will be like optional things. And then above this, we'll have things that actually have a due date. So anything, as you can see, this student actually is all caught up. And then they can click on done, and they can see all the things that they turned in for all of their classes. So that's why it's really important to have those due dates in there and have them be accurate, because a lot of students like to use this to-do list to organize their work. The other thing is, if there's anything on the to-do list that shows up here and shows not done, the parents will just get a weekly email that says that these assignments are missing. So if, as you're designing your class on Google Classroom, don't create something as an assignment unless you actually want the students to turn it in. Otherwise, you can always create it as a material, or you can create it as an announcement or something else. But if it's created as an assignment, it'll show up in their to-do list. Now, the last thing I'll show is what the calendar looks like. So if they go and, remember, they can go and look at all their classes, but they can also look at their calendar. So in this, they can see what they have for the week for all of their classes. And if you go back, let's say this one, and we're going to go back to June, May. All right, so they can see maybe all classes. They can see all the things that are due that week for that class. So you can see for this one's in green, the scientists at home, they know they have this classwork, they have this. It automatically populates with their Google Calendar. If they open their Google Calendar, it should show up there as well. Now I'm going to go back a few months because it's summer. The student may not be using this calendar. So I'm going to go back, to June. Let's do month here. Let's show it in month view and go back to June or May when they had more going on. And you can see the student had each day, they had, okay, advisory and then their quest and then advisory and different assignments. So the Google Calendar is a really great way to organize the students stay organized. Now it's a little harder when you're looking at a month, but a week they can see, okay, on Wednesday they have 7th grade council at 9:30, then they have forum, then they have high school prep, and they see there's an assignment that's reading log that's due that day.